In the heart of an overgrown, forgotten town stands a building that locals have whispered about for decades. An old, imposing structure, once a bustling community center, now a silent, decaying giant. For years, no one dared to step inside. The windows were boarded up, the doors chained shut, and stories of strange noises and fleeting shadows kept even the bravest souls at bay. But a few weeks ago, a group of urban explorers, armed with cameras and a thirst for adventure, decided to break the unspoken rule. They were about to uncover a secret that had been hidden from the world for over half a century, and what they found inside would leave not just them, but everyone who saw their footage, absolutely stunned. They pried open a side door, the rusted metal groaning in protest. A wave of musty, cold air hit them, carrying the scent of dust and decay. Their flashlights cut through the oppressive darkness, revealing a scene frozen in time. The main hall was vast, its high ceilings lost in shadow. Dust motes danced in the beams of light like tiny ghosts. Chairs were overturned and old papers were scattered across the floor, as if everyone had left in a sudden, panicked rush. It was eerie, a perfect picture of abandonment. But as they ventured deeper, they noticed something odd. Among the chaos, certain areas were strangely preserved, almost untouched by time. One of the explorers, a guy named Leo, noticed a door slightly ajar at the far end of the hall. Unlike the others, this one wasn't boarded up. It was a heavy oak door with an old brass handle. Curiosity getting the better of them, they pushed it open. The room inside was a stark contrast to the decay of the main hall. It was a library. Floor-to-ceiling shelves were packed with books, their spines mostly intact. A large mahogany desk sat in the center, and on it, a single leather-bound journal lay open. It was as if someone had just stepped out for a moment. As they got closer, they saw that the journal wasn't empty. It was filled with elegant, handwritten script. The date on the open page was from the late 1950s. The entries told the story of a man named Arthur, the center's last director. He wrote about his love for the community, the children's laughter that filled the halls, and the pride he took in his work. But as the entries progressed, the tone began to change. Arthur wrote about a discovery he made in the building's basement, a hidden chamber, not on any of the original blueprints. He described it as a place of strange energy, a room that seemed to hum with a life of its own. His writing became more and more frantic. He spoke of whispers in the walls and a feeling of being watched. He mentioned the guardian of the chamber, something ancient and powerful that he had unintentionally disturbed. The final entry was short and chilling. It read, "It wants the building. It wants the silence. I have to protect the town. I will lock it away and lock myself in with it. No one must ever open the door." The last sentence was a desperate plea. Leave this place. Forget it ever existed. A cold shiver ran down the explorers' spines. What had Arthur found down there? And was it still trapped? Driven by a mix of fear and an insatiable need to know more, they decided to find the basement. Following a set of narrow, creaking stairs, they descended into the cold, damp underbelly of the building. The air grew heavy, and a low, almost imperceptible hum filled their ears, just as Arthur had described. The basement was a maze of storage rooms and forgotten junk, but in one corner, hidden behind a stack of old crates, was a wall that didn't match the rest. It was made of newer, smoother stone, with no visible door or handle. It was exactly where Arthur's journal entry had sketched its location. One of the explorers, Sarah, ran her hand along the wall. "There's no way in," she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. But as her fingers traced the stone, she felt a slight indentation. Pressing it, they heard a low grinding sound. A section of the wall slowly began to recede, revealing a dark, gaping opening. The humming grew louder, a deep, resonant frequency that they could feel in their bones. They hesitated, the words from Arthur's journal echoing in their minds. But they had come this far. They had to see. Stepping through the opening, they entered a circular chamber. The air was unnaturally still and cold. The walls were covered in symbols they didn't recognize, glowing faintly with a soft, blue light. And in the center of the room, on a stone pedestal, was an object. It was a crystalline sphere, about the size of a bowling ball, pulsing with the same blue light and emitting the low hum. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. As they stared, mesmerized, they noticed something else. On the floor, near the pedestal, lay a skeleton, its bony fingers still clutching a small, tarnished key. It had to be Arthur. He had kept his promise, guarding the chamber to his last breath. Suddenly, the sphere's light intensified, and the humming grew into a loud, vibrating roar. The symbols on the walls flared to fados, and the explorers felt a wave of energy wash over them. A feeling of immense age and intelligence. It wasn't hostile, but it was overwhelming. They scrambled back, their hearts pounding. They had seen enough. They ran from the chamber, not even bothering to close the stone door, sprinted up the stairs, and didn't stop until they were outside, gasping in the fresh air. They had found Arthur's secret. They had found the guardian. Scientists, historians, and paranormal investigators were baffled. The building was immediately cordoned off by authorities. Analysis of a small fragment of the sphere, which one of the explorers had unknowingly picked up on their shoe, revealed it was made of a material not found on Earth. The symbols on the wall didn't match any known language, ancient or modern. The building didn't just hold a secret. It held a mystery that could change our understanding of history, science, and our place in the universe. The story of the abandoned community center and its final heroic director, Arthur, became a modern legend. He wasn't just a man who locked himself away. He was a guardian who sacrificed himself to protect the world from something it wasn't ready for. The explorers, once just thrill-seekers, became the ones to bring his story to light. What started as a daring adventure into a creepy old building ended up being a discovery that truly shocked the world, proving that sometimes the greatest secrets are hidden in the most forgotten places, waiting for someone brave enough to turn the key. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible discoveries.